Okay, so I decided to do another video. It's so weird. It's like I feel both my eyes are doing two different things or something. It's like fuck, my eyes are doing weird. Like everything is so fucking weird. Like fuck. What weirds me out is the people who just don't have anything. Just like nothing, nothing. Like it's just a regular day. There's so many people just keep on going about their day like nothing's going on. It's like, fuck, man, this is like weird to me. I feel like, fuck, I feel weird. I don't even know. I feel weird. I feel like everything's off. Everything looks weird. Everything sounds weird. It's like, ugh, this looks weird as shit. So, um, but there's so much happening. I was like, oh my gosh, this has got to be it. This has got to be like, I mean, fuck, this has got to be. Like another whole island is burning up. They're evacuating the whole island. There's been so many videos of the people sitting out watching the fires. Fires just moving closer and closer. And then they're in BC. They are doing the same thing to these other tribes. They're burning down all their fucking land. They're just it's happening all over the place. It is insane what is happening. And even down, when you put it together about Katrina, even, that was a land grab. That was all that land, these old families, these like what I keep saying. I got totally attacked by these two guys on TikTok because I said this. And they told me I was a stupid idiot, didn't know history or something. It's like, you believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. I don't believe what I see. And what I see is, it wasn't that long ago. Like, well, we want to think this was a long time ago or something. No, this was not that long ago. And there was a whole thing about them, like the crown, and the church is always involved. That's like good cop, bad cop. The missionaries was the good cop, and the soldiers were the bad cop. So that good cop, bad cop, they're always playing. So however, the people are, they can shift around them. But if the people were not agreeable, well, they were just massacred. They were turned into slaves. They were given jobs that they could work on farms. And, that's how they ended up working on all these plantations and shit like that. Because they would just take over their stuff, leave them with nothing, and say, here, well, we'll give you a job. And, you can you and your family can live out back, and you will work from dusk to dawn. No, from dawn till dusk. No, they're just working to fucking all the time. And, but we still have this shit going on. Like, this goes on all the time. I just saw a conversation, a nanny thing. I didn't even listen to it because I could see it as soon as I hear one thing. But all of these fucking rich ladies who prey on these, in many cases less fortunate, people who don't have as much money, maybe don't have the same ability, like a lot of different things. And these rich ass ladies prey on them and then expect them to raise their kids. Selfishness in this country. And it's not just in this country. I think it is like this country was kind of like a test. It was kind of an experiment to see, like, and see what people do. You give them, and they just want more, 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 more. They're easily led. It's, a whole thing. Dark is the darkness. What is that? Intoxicating, and then a lot of souls that come here to experience that, that they want to experience to, do bad things sometimes. So, but this is hard to go through. So it's a hard experience to go through all of this stuff and all this change and all the people who are just like oblivious and stuff. But so when they would go on these ships and they would take those people, it showed right in that movie about how they people who were in like London or different places, the cities that they were transporting people from, the different, because it was France, Spain, they all had different, the kings all had their explorers out, you know, looking for more land that they could consume and take over and control. And when they were coming and taking all these and they're sending all their ships out, then in all of the different places, they had already started creating a status, a social status. So they had the people who were more well off, and then the people who didn't have as much. But the people who were more well off, they were, you know, like, it's like the same thing now as like if you're a rotten son of a bitch, then you can be a CEO. So it's like a certain type of person was the kind of people who moved up through the ranks of society. And then the good people, like the lower deck people, the people who were more caring, and they were more shorted. They didn't, you know, the farmers, the hard workers, all that. They were a lot more controlled and stuff because they don't want people to be independent. So they're always under attack. And so they would create criminals, like they still do it all the time, creating criminals all the time. And then they would create criminals. And I don't know if they just at some point, if their prisons were so full and they never feed the people, like they're real fucking assholes, you know, back. And then they so they would bring them over on these ships, and so they would set the climate for the whole community. Like they're already putting out the poor people, the people who need to work, criminals, people who they can control, like all different things. And then the rich people who they will be the funneling system over the power hierarchy, and the connected ones that you know, have sold something out so that they are indebted to somebody. And so the it's like it's like the whole pyramid system is already in play, but it's all being exposed to us. It's all around us right now. It's like everywhere you can see, like these people are not changed. They're still doing it. And obviously they haven't been doing it that long. They're still working on stealing Hawaii from killing all these people. Like they killed 50% of it and then just keep going and going. And these people are so under attack right now. It's insane. They have police coming and confiscating food, shutting down any places where they can eat. They have the sheriff and that guy who didn't turn on the alarm or whatever. They've both been fired or stepped down today. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But then they're still burning these places down. Like the footage in Canada is fucking horrible. Down in the bayou, where and another thing too is so their Mountain Dew cans for some reason keep telling us what's going to happen. Somebody's talking to us in code through Mountain Dew, like something's going on. And so they did the Baja Blast, and so now the Baja is getting blasted with this hurricane, and they did the Maui blow. I can't remember what it was called. All these different ones that they've put out where this stuff keeps happening. So they put out one called Blackout. So I don't remember the thing, something about the devil or something on the can. Who knows? Maybe somebody's just making this shit up. But when you look it up, it seems to be that it's real. So, but they're good. Like I think there's a whole thing about these weird fake accounts and stuff. I think that they have people in people's following that are more like handlers, and you know, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, from behind the scenes. I mean, right now, why they've got so many AI accounts coming out where these people are just AI. They're not even real people. And it's it's weird. And so, like, we're infiltrated already. Like, all of this craziness is already going. Like, people keep thinking, oh, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Where we're headed or something. It's like, this is already all happening. It's already all going. I mean, they've already got people with fake accounts. You got these two twin brothers or something, boning each other for views and using deep fakes or something. Like, well, people are so disturbed. Like, I don't even know, like, and I mean, there's all these videos of these people who break an egg on their kids' heads. Some of the kids cry, there's all different reactions, but why do people have to terrorize their kids for views? Like, what in the hell? And it's so strange. People just don't even care one bit. Like, fucking somebody just throw something, knock their kid down because it's so hilarious. I don't. And then it's like, well, are you entertaining AI accounts because they're building you up because they want us to be these mindless, senseless people, and these mindless, senseless people get all these views. It even showed on Twitter where there was a lot of people's followers were bots. They're not even real people. So, is it for this distortion? Is it, to build these certain people up who do these weird, mindless, senseless things because they want our whole society to just be so mindless? I know they want us completely underdeveloped. They want us dependent as fuck. And it goes as far as people are going to let it go. Sure, the fuck, it seems like all this shit is definitely waking people up. Like, it's fucking insane. But it really made me think, like, if they keep doing this and showing us what's next, then I would say we should be expecting a blackout. That there's going to be something. And I just saw some places are getting emergency broadcast alerts, some places are getting evacuated. There's all sorts of shit going down, and huge amounts of people going with their homes being lost and stuff. And it's so crazy where they're saying this fire in Canada, 160,000 people lost their homes or something. And when you think about that, it's like, but they're telling us 100 people in this whole fucking town burned, and 100 of them died. Well, and all these people, I mean, they can't even, the injured people can't even get treatment. There's no food, there's no water, there's still fucking people going on vacation. And then expecting to, have good treatment. I mean, I don't understand how it is this just robotic state of mind that so many people are in. They're just so cut off from things, but all this shit, is going and going and going. Like, there's no, I can't imagine anybody can be looking away from this. Like, people have got to be understanding how really intense everything is right now. Like, it fucking seems dangerous. There's fucking accident or something somewhere at a state fair or something, and a kid got killed, and all the ride did something. There's gonna be more and more and more of this. Everything is going to keep falling apart as long as the people keep participating. Like, if we all just dropped it and walked away, if we all just said bye, walked away, then it would stop because we wouldn't be participating in it. But as long as there keeps being participation, the energy is dying, it's going, it's dead, it's not something you can bring back to life. And all these people keep just trying to go about life like it's normal, like it's regular. And it is never going back. It's never going to go back to how it was, ever. We're going forward. We are, I know I see Planet of the Apes a lot, but we are in this, it's just a huge transformation. It is us coming out of our cages and being released and being, set free. And we've been trapped in a lab for our whole entire lives. And so, and it's been a mind trap, you know? So, Like, we got to have a larger habitat, but still, we didn't even, everything was being lied about everything. So, and you know what's so crazy is I've been watching these old movies, right? I keep sitting here crocheting and watching these black and white movies. Oh my gosh. And Stella, like right now she's not whining, but we just went on a long ass walk again. Um, we already went on one walk this morning, but then her friends stopped by. And so she wanted to go for a walk with them. So I took her on a walk with them. She was just like running again. She keeps running. I am telling you, that is so crazy how strong she has become. She is. And I keep doing the borax just like a tiny, tiny bit once a day. I'm not, because the whole thing of if there is a thing, for overdosing because it's too strong, I don't know. So I'm just giving her a small bit, but I can't believe how strong she is. But something is still bothering her. But there's something about, too, with their paws, licking them, is a sign of parasites and gut health. And that's what's under constant attack. They're attacking everything in our gut. And there's so many scary things right now, too, about these parasites. And these certain ones that they are putting to try and take over mind control, like using an organic product to help them. Like, all this stuff is so creepy. Like, you got to really have a strong mind, like know yourself. And I think that it's like they're using this time, to get people. Just like this morning when I was laying on my pillow, and there kept being something, like I keep hearing talking. I keep hearing, there's so much weird shit going on. So, but anyways, in these old movies, while I've been watching them, there's when you think about the program, especially you got to be thinking about like this taking over is not that long ago. The lobotomies, not that long ago. The all of the stuff that they did in the prisons, and I mean the stuff with Hitler, all this stuff is not that long ago. Like, people keep thinking like, like it's history, it's in the past, it's not something they need to think about. No, this stuff is continuing, and it's been going on this whole fucking time. It's never fucking stopped. And so, yeah, it's time to pay attention. It's time to fucking wake up. And, we're not going to put a stop to it until we stop, until we, pay attention and notice and say something. But in these movies, so once they had it, like, I don't know how it all went down. I mean, was one of them so conniving they thought of, well, let's try and make boxes with moving pictures and get them in people's out, or did somebody just invent that and then they were like, ooh, we could do with that. So that's probably because they are the parasites. There's creators out there, and then these people parasite and murder and steal and everything else. So however they determined, to start getting the programming in. But it's so weird when you watch it and you see like what the programming was like. And it's really weird too, is to watch like the certain attitude that people had towards each other and watch that and then go on TikTok. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And just the lack of like, what would that word be? Like a moral dignity, kind of like what is that word? It is kind of not secrecy. It's before, where women didn't want to show themselves, like they didn't want to be revealing. Like, if they were going to be around somebody else's husband, the door had to be open. Like, there were certain ways, there were certain rules, certain ways that women acted and stuff like that. And then you go and see how these other girls do, and it's just like, oh my gosh, things have changed so much. But one of the things, though, in the programming is constantly making women out to be like hysterical. They're hysterical. And these women, these actresses would play the part. Oh my God, every fucking little thing. They scream and, oh, they're falling apart. They can't do this. They can't do that. And then this, oh, daddy, you come do it. And all these fucking guys that they go out with are like 90, and all the women are super young. And another weird thing that they do is, like, some of these people, they look like they're 30 or 35 and they're playing like they're little kids. It's like, there is something weird. It's so weird. Like, this movie I was just watching, The Picnic, it had Kim Novak and William Holden. And they have William Holden in there, and he's acting like, I don't know, like a fucking child. It's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, and he looks like a man. Like, it's just weird. And just like the other day when I said that they had Suzanne Plachette, and she looked like, she looked like she could be on Bob Newhart then. And she, well, not as old as that, but still, she looked like a grown-ass woman. And she was playing a 16-year-old slutty hoe. And that's always in those movies, about these women and their sexual like, but they were deviants if they even thought about it or something. There's all sorts of stuff, but they show it, and it's like programming. When you see how they're just like programming all the time of this certain dynamic in our society. But one thing too is how you see, and I just saw these two little girls too in Africa do this the other day in a video. It was so cute. They got some delivery of all this stuff, and they gave them all what are those plastic shoes everybody wears them all the time, these rubber shoes. But now like why they want you to wear rubber. It's like, and then everything's rubber shoes, and Crocs. So you took all these little tiny little kids in Africa, and took them all these Crocs. They were giving them all this food. It was oh my God, the cutest videos. And those kids trying to walk in those shoes, but that's gonna keep them from grounding. But I'm sure walking on the hot sand, it would be nice to have something not burning your feet. Well, maybe their feet are so calloused, I don't know. But one of the videos that I had seen was two little girls standing out, and one of them had like a little cookie or something. And so she took a bite, and then she handed it to her friend so she could take a bite, and she took a bite, and she handed it back so she could take a bite. And it was just going back and forth. And I was just like, man, and in these movies and stuff back, around the Depression, and around all that different time, which we don't even know, for sure how any of this shit went down. Like, this is coming out nonstop. That people just keep diving into all this history and trying to put all these things together. There's so much lies. It's all fucking manipulation. But it's part of their game. They see it as they have control because they're the ones writing our history. And so, but anyways, there's all sorts of stuff coming out, just like that Great Wall of China thing. Like, I didn't ever know that there was even, I thought it was just a long brick wall. I didn't even know on one side how it goes all the way down. And then on the other side, it's more, and it has lookout stations and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, but see, I mean, I guess if you went there and looked, that's probably how some people got the footage to ever see it. And we're like, wait a minute, why would that be there? And start investigating it. Because as soon as we all see what we're supposed to see, as soon as somebody sees something and starts sharing it, so you can get so much information just listening to different people's stories. And you don't have to jump in and believe every single story you ever hear. It seems like people panic, like, well, I can't believe people. They might trick me. Well, you can listen for repeating stories, but yeah, there's some people out there meant to purposely trick us. They're out there trying to trick us. And so, who knows? Some of these different videos that I keep seeing of all of these different fires and storms and floods, and oh my God, so much everywhere. Like Spain and Mexico and Argentina, like everywhere there is shit going down. And it's like, man, are people going and taking like old disasters and trying to make like they're going right now, or all these fucking things going right now? Because Jesus Christ, you think. And another crazy thing is there's supposed to be all these fires around me everywhere, and there's no smoke. There keeps being blue sky. Where is all the fucking smoke? So why don't I have it covered in smoke? I just saw footage because of the Tacoma fires and the Canadian fires that the Pacific Northwest is all red sky and red moon and or red sun and shit. It's like, not here. So I don't know, but there's something weird. There's more weird shit coming out about the maps, more shit coming out about the lies, about where we are. It's completely, the whole thing with north, south, east, and west or something is fucking, they've turned it backwards or something. Like, everything is not how we think it is. It's all just a big ol', it is like a big ol', like a hamster habitat, those ones that have all of the trails. Only you got it at a hoarder's house, and it's all over the place, just everywhere. But everything outside of it is open space. Everything inside of it is controlled space. And that is where we reside, in the controlled space. It is all fucking whacked out. But look out and see all this other shit is around us. So, but we're going to, it's all busting apart. It's just crazy how so many people just hold on and just like, well, if we just keep doing things like we used to, maybe it'll just go back to normal. It's not going back to normal. Never, ever, ever, ever. It's never going back to normal. This is, it's going to get worse and worse and worse because the people just hold on and hold on and hold on. And so we have to watch them as their fingers are torn from this reality, as they grip on for life, like, please don't leave me. It's like, what are you holding on to? What are you so scared of? It's the same thing as what I was talking about pushing yourself. Push yourself a little bit. Don't be scared of everything. Like, so many people live in fear and they don't even realize they live in fear. And they're like, well, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to go and quit a job and leave and do this? And I got kids, and what about school and all this stuff? It's like, you see, how people trap themselves. Like, you're building that trap. You're doing it. I'm not fucking saying shit. I'm saying, everybody's got to have to pull free from this reality. Otherwise, you're holding on to something that's going to be tore out of your hands. I've been saying this the whole fucking time, and it's happening. And so but the best thing is to be proactive. At this time when people are losing things and you're seeing what's going on in the world, hopefully, then you are questioning and, trying to figure out what to do. Then it is, you got to follow your guidance of what to do. And it's most likely that they're telling you, to make job changes, leave, they're more than likely trying to get you to make moves, to make change in your life. Like, that is when everything is getting ripped away from people. It is to promote change. And so you can't stay doing the same thing. It has to change. You're forced into change. And all the people who are forced into change, it's, because they weren't making it on their own. They didn't know which direction to go. They were just, doing what they thought they were supposed to do. But the universe was saying, no, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to just do that because that's what you think you have. No, it's like, we're going to remove the chains. But it's like you open the lab door and you let all the animals go out and they walk into the grass. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? What is this? And some run back in. Put me back in the cage. It's way too scary. It's way too big, So you got to walk out of that cage and be ready to grasp on. And don't be thinking what you had is all you're ever going to have. There's so much more ahead. But you got to let go. You gotta let go of what you had. You can't drag everything with you. And like, I mean, some people, a lot of people are gonna lose their houses. This is if I lose this one, this would be my third one. So like, it's fucking old school to me now. It's like, fuck, I've lost so many houses. Like, you just gotta let go of it. You can't. I mean, you can make yourself suffer. You are the one doing it, holding on and stuff. You got to just go through the process of letting go. And however that looks to you, because you got to do the process. You can't just stuff it, eat some cookies, and pretend like nothing happened. You got to go through it. You got to process. You got to release it. And then you got to, in most cases, change directions. And in the direction they want you to go is to follow your dreams. You got to find your heart to find your dreams. But they want you to follow your dreams, not just go to a job that you thought you had to go to pay the bills. And so, but it's fear is what holds people into those positions. They don't want to go because like, well, then what if I can't feed my kids? What if my kids are stupid? What if my kids don't get to go? All that stuff. You're projecting so much what ifs. Like, none of that stuff could happen. It will happen if you project it to happen. If that's what you put out there to have happen. But you can direct it how you want it to be. So you can have it be a super positive thing. My kids aren't going to go to school anymore. And I'm going to start teaching them. I'm going to start teaching them stuff. And, maybe me and my kids together, we're going to start growing things. And then we're going to start selling them. We'll go down the little farm family or something. Like, there's so many different ways to approach every situation. No situation has just one way. There's only one thing you can do. There's multiple ways we could live. Like I keep saying, the tribes have been, it's not that long ago that they were just robbed of their homelands. I don't know why it is that it's like people want to be slaves. That is living, to live primitive is living below your standard. What is your standard? What do you need to be happy? Because to me, I don't think that we need much. We need to be around people that we care about. We need to have time to do what we want to do. And, I think it's proven all the time across this whole fucking planet. If you travel and you go places, you see people live all different ways. There's not just one way to live. There's multiple ways to live. And there's multiple ways that people are living. It's not just like, it's like, I think that there's a lot of people who think like the Philippines or India. There's a lot of different places where people will be like, oh no, I would never live that way. And if they had money, if they came to America, they wouldn't live that way. But there's a lot of positive things about the way that they live. They're free. They're not having to get up and go to work, and they can go out and just wander around all day. They can go out and take care of what they want to take care of, not go work for somebody who's going to abuse them and treat them bad, and then government's going to take a cut and they're going to raise everything. So even if you get money, even if you get a raise and you think, oh gosh, finally I get $20 more a week, man, what am I going to do with that? And then all of a sudden fucking my milk goes up $20 a gallon, as that's the games they play. That's how they are doing it. So is that really a good way to live? That's not, it's just draining you. You're not getting anything for it, because there's something that we need in our soul, and that is socializing, being around people on our own terms and our own way of being our own self, not being a worker. Like, you got a lot of people out right now who are just following orders. Oh my God, hold on. You're so dramatic. put some rice in. I hadn't finished making her food. So I was like, oh, she's going to go over there and start slopping through her food now, too. Start making a bunch of noise doing that. She's getting so freaking, like, she is like a little queen. She's so freaking bossy. You know, it's like, just like this morning, walking in and just walking, like, smacking her right into me. Like, she's the thinner and the more in shape she gets, the more cocky she gets. So even in dog world, you know, when you're feeling good and you're feeling good in your skin and you're feeling powerful, you know, that's the thing, is it's not about the size. You know, that's what the people, you know, it's not about your size. It's about feeling good in your skin. It's about feeling good, you know, with who you are, in your movement, everything you want to do. Can you get it done? Like, I've seen people who have, you know, gone way past. Like, that one guy, I had seen, I'm sure I talked about him a couple of years ago because he was a huge person. I mean, the guy was probably like 6'5" or something. He was like a giant or something. He was really big, just huge person. But he was kind of shuffled and stuff. Like, he was way too big for his bones and stuff. It was putting way too much pressure. But the whole thing was he had one of these on. I was like, dude, your weight is going to kill you. That's going to interfere with your breathing. You need to, like, people who are way overweight like that, they should not be putting those on. But the government knows that. Government knows. They need all the fucking air they can get. Their body, their organs. I bet you so many people who were way overweight, who were very much like had to have those on all the time. I bet they started getting like kidney problems, just different organ shutdown things, different problems with their organs because there's not enough oxygen going through their blood to circulate and feed them all, because their weight already puts a burden on it. And then you put this over. But, you know, I mean, they're trying to wipe out so many people and everybody that they see. The only ones that they see as worthy are like a very small group of people. Very small group of people. It's ones that are willing to take all the abuse, work hard, don't have much of an identity. Yeah, it's like there's certain things that they want, but definitely people who are depressed and overweight, and even people who are anorexic, they're putting them to sleep, or, you know, euthanasia or whatever the fuck, in Canada. And I think in Denmark too. They've started that over there, doing this. But I guess they've been doing it since 2012. But what did I say? I said I think there's some labs, and I think there's some shit that is going on in some certain places that I think is like, you know, where white people really came from. There's some kind of lab somewhere where they were trying to make the perfect people. And it all has to do with the way they infiltrated, the way that they use these certain people to push back. But I think that the people they were trying to get to push back to come in, it's like it didn't go the direction they wanted. Like, the people started, you know, same thing with like what they've got going with the AI, like AI becoming sentient or something. So it's more like the droid, mindless people they were trying to make started finding interest. Like, I know, to me, you know, and I don't know how much breeding I have in me. Like, my dad was very blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what I was growing up. We were all that blonde hair, blue eyes. And so, look, I don't know. But but I always craved culture. I always looked at all the different groups, of all the different, you know, because I went to school in Dallas, and it was, I would think, at least half my school, half the kids were black kids from downtown Dallas, because we had the whole busing, this desegregation thing they did. And then and we all got along great. And I always thought that they had more style. They had more, like, there's more soul to them. And there's stuff coming out, like what I had said about the melanin. It is some kind of a conductor. I know that's what they're trying to get out. Like, they want rid of the people who have it, because all they want in their habitat are these little controllable droid people, not people who are connected to their soul. Like, fuck, get rid of those motherfuckers. They're not going to be our slaves. Well, they've pushed people into certain roles through programming and force and murder. So, they will push it. They won't make them. But, I, all the way back then, when I noticed that they kept certain people in certain areas and stuff. And then, they put it out on the news and stuff to create fear, as a part of their segregating, a part of their control. Like, all of that stuff is was there. And then when I moved to Southern California and I was around so many Mexican people, and I was just like, oh my gosh, all this culture. Like, where's our culture? I would say that to people. I'd be like, why don't we have culture? Why don't we have traditions and stuff? Like, where's the white people traditions? Like, because, they don't want that. They want us to have these paid holidays. These paid holidays where we pay them. They'll give you a day off from work. You get a measly $100, but you gotta spend 10,000. So, what a scam. But I was always drawn towards, people who had, more culture and more in touch with themselves. So, I think that was kind of like a lot of people. I mean, that became a whole thing for a while, where they were saying all these white boys are trying to act like black guys. I mean, anybody who's older has got to remember that whole thing. That was a whole thing for a while, that they kept making like a whole thing about it. But that's why I think that they were trying to, whatever they were breeding out of us, we're still drawn to it. We're drawn to what they're trying to take away from us. It keeps backfiring on them. It doesn't work. And then, they start mixing. People started mixing and, falling in love. I mean, it probably kept going. I can have people fall in love with robots and marrying them, and no telling. It's very strange when you see these accounts with these robots and they're just talking like they're just regular people. It's so creepy. This creepy fucking world that they're trying to create, where it is. I swear to God, I feel like I'm on some sort of acid trip all the time. But it's like, that's what they want. They want us to be in some sort of deliberate state of confusion, because then if you feel like you're falling apart, or you can't mind your own mind, then you're not worthy. Then you aren't, they'll just medicate you, test on you, all the while tell you, well, they'll tell you a lot of things. I mean, they have so many people convinced that they're broken. Like, I just saw this girl. She always does these videos of, I don't know, it's just like, there's this whole movement in this dating realm of like, both groups have like a leader coming out. Well, this is what we want. Well, this is what we want. And it just goes back and forth. So you have those in this male-female division that's coming to a head. It's all this like dating battleground or something. And so some of the stuff I hear him say, it just is like, oh my gosh. I don't know. It's like people think like you just go out and then you just find somebody. You just go out and you just find somebody. It's like, oh, huh, you'll do. Like, I don't, I don't know. It's weird when they sit there and say like we're gonna make the overall rules, like for all of them. It's like it's just weird. Like it's just weird to me. But and then there's all these girls with this mental health and stuff, like either narcissist, the borderline, like all of these different things. But this one video where it was just like a borderline person, you're just broken. It's okay. It's fine. You are abused. You're an abused person and it broke you. It's fine. You could be broken. You're broken. You know, there's nothing wrong, but you're going to be a borderline broken person for the rest of your life. This is what they fucking do with these diagnoses and shit. You don't have to be anything for the rest of your life. Well, does the alcoholic have to stay drinking for the rest of their life? Like, nobody has to continue any behavior. You always have an opportunity to change. Some changes are harder. Some take a lot more determination. Some are very challenging, you know, but you can change. Just like, you know, me remembering, slow down, you know. And then every time I do, you know, I don't jump and hurry and do something and then get frustrated because now I have to go back and do it because I did it too fast. Then it is, you know, it helps me and it keeps me from getting frustrated with, you know, going too fast and getting in a. So anyways, the things that you do, working on yourself, improve, but they can be challenging. Like, yeah, you may have certain characteristics from being borderline. You may have certain, I mean, there's certain, like, certain ingredients that a borderline has to get diagnosed with it. And so, in those ingredients, certain behaviors, so certain toxic behaviors that you developed because of, you know, the reaction to how you were treated as a child. And so you develop like dysfunctional ways, toxic ways to deal with other people. And but it's based on things like rejection and fear, all those kinds of things. So it's not like somebody's bad or something. You know, they make like these borderline people are so bad or something. They're not bad. There's nothing wrong with you. You just develop some characteristics or some habits or some, you know, some toxic behaviors that you need to become aware of so you can change them. So, you know, if you know, that when your boyfriend is going to get upset, that it puts you into panic and then you start becoming needy, then it's just recognizing that in yourself and go, oh, so now he's doing that. Now I see I'm getting this way. So what do I need to do for me? You need to step out of the situation. You need to walk away from that situation, go have time to yourself, sit in reflection, and go in communication with your trust fall person, the person who's there to guide you through your problems and situations. So you got to go have time. And then, you know, I mean, it could be a lot of different things. They may remind you of something. They may talk to you about what's going on. They may help you see what you need to see. But you need to handle you. Don't go and you can get better and better and better to where you don't, you know, you're not even triggered. You know, he starts doing his thing and you're just like, oh, guess he's in a bad mood. And you just, you know, go about your business. Doesn't have any effect on you. You don't feel panicked in the least. So when you get these diagnoses and shit, don't sit there and think, well, that's who I am now for the rest of my life. No, Just figure out your behaviors that don't work. Figure out the ones that create drama, that create problems in your life. Figure out the ones that handicap you. When you start figuring out what the things are, your problems, then start just figuring out the solutions. You can change your behaviors, and one of the big things is as you change your behaviors, there's certain behaviors you don't allow in your life. So that right there cuts a lot of toxic people. You learn how to set better boundaries for yourself. You learn how to, say, hey, no. And, maybe your boyfriend has a big old fit. And maybe it's time that he needs to take off and he needs to go take a walk and figure his shit out. And you got to be able to get to that point of setting that boundary and saying, hey, if you've got an issue, don't turn the house into toxic energy. Go outside. Nature's there to suck all that energy out of you. Go out there, walk around, go sit by a creek, listen to the water and talk to your guides and communicate and try and figure out what you got going on, because people who have anger, they're holding on to something. And the thing is that the two, all these, you always have the counterbalance. You have the trigger. The trigger's always there. So you've got the person who is going to be playing the other part for you, but you got to see your part, because it's your part you can change, and that automatically changes the other parts. But that's how you start getting out of all these toxic relationships. And and so much of this toxic behaviors and all this is programmed. Like, if people went back, like, I think they probably will go back and really study through this. There will be a lot of people, because so many things, and people just dive in and just do so much research. It's so interesting. I love the map stuff. I love the hidden history stuff. But they're going to rewrite history books. But there's a big thing that we've got to wrap our heads around. It's not like linear. They don't all go together. It's more parallel. It's more ages and time. This is the only one that's bridged. We are the bridge. We're creating a bridge to this new age. But normally they're standalone incidences. They're their own thing. It's like the movie theater opens up, and that's the what plays for that age is that experience, what you get to come in and experience. So, and this is all this transition, and this is all of this releasing, and there's the whole part about receiving. Like, you got to get yourself into a place of where you love yourself, where you can receive. There's so many people that push things away from them because they think they don't deserve it. Like, they don't deserve this or they don't deserve that. So they keep things that are good for them away from them. So there's so much about you having to learn to love yourself, and to realize you deserve, you deserve whatever comes your way. What comes your way is meant for you. It comes to you. You don't have to, like I keep saying, like these people who keep wanting to go out and date and stuff. Like, yeah, you can, it can work. You can go out, but I feel like that so many people are just willing to just take whoever likes them. Just, I'm going to go out and just go through, date a bunch of people, and whoever likes me, then I'm going to just go out with them. It's like, and you're going to pull in wherever you are, whatever your vibration is. So if you're a fucking mess, don't be thinking you're going to be pulling in somebody great and they're going to improve your life. No, you're going to pull in somebody who's a fucking mess, and you're going to be a fucking mess together. So you're going to pull in somebody who's as troubled as you are. That's why I keep saying, you got to do the work. She's going to snooze on that. You got to do the work and get yourself, it's like the main goals is, not having toxic relationships, and looking at our part that we play in all of our relationships, and reconsider, why we do the things we do, evaluate ourselves, recognize our own behavior and learning to love ourselves. And I think a huge one too is this, learning about what is important. Like, what do you prioritize? What is important to you? How do you want to, spend your time? How do you want to spend your days? And that is what everybody is getting pushed into, those realizations and stuff. So it is all a time of change, and there's so much about loss, but there's going to be gain too. There's going to be a lot of gain, but there's going to be a lot of pain. But the pain is there to, it's to bring in the storm of all of your time, of all of your past, of all is. That's why I was saying, like, the things that are happening for people are like deep things that are supposed to be bringing up more things, like all this loss, and there's so much tragedy, so many people losing kids, so much pain and suffering. Oh yeah, and Amy had said that Roxanne, or yeah, Roxanne. See, just saying words sometimes it's just like, am I saying the word right? I don't even know. Roseanne, so it's not Roxanne, Roseanne Barr. So she started a new podcast, and she's entertaining. Even she knows what's up. But I mean, she is a little bit with the religion, I think, leaning. But the other day she was talking spiritual stuff. So, but she was saying she was going to go daily. So if you're looking for, if you're at home and you're looking for different people to listen to, and because it seems like she's trying to stay up on what's going on, and she said she was going to start doing it daily, 5 days a week. But right now she's weekly. So she has a new podcast, and it's on YouTube. So anybody might like her. Amy was saying she's really enjoying it. I watched some of it the other day. I like Roseanne. But let me think. What else was I going to say? I can't think of if there was something else. I just feel really weird and really out of it, and just 4:30. So I started this at 3:30, so like an hour. And everything just seems weird. Like, man, it just seems weird. I just wish that like something would just happen, like something's just got to break loose or something. Like in some of these places where things are breaking loose, like they're not going back. Like it's going full speed ahead. And I don't know what's going to go down in Hawaii. Like, fuck. They are coming hard on those people. Just like, fuck. And right at their weakest point. It's like we all have to go over there and stand up with them. But, we can't. There's so many people in crises. There's fucking crises everywhere. Like all this, what they're doing to the tribes over in Canada. But I was talking about before, in the winter, what they did in Alaska, and then all those little islands, and they were starving those people in all these different places. We don't even know how many people that they kill and stuff. Like everything is just lies. I mean, it's outrageous how the news can sit here and say, oh, maybe 100 might be dead. The news should be held accountable for their lies, I think. They shouldn't be like, away with this. They should have to be held for lying to people. I think they're going to be. But I saw one thing that I just was like, oh my God, that is absurd. Some woman, I don't know who she is, trying to make charges on Trump or something, and two other guys, and they have till the 25th to turn themselves in, and they're being charged with the RICO Act. It's like, oh my God. These fucking people. But the whole thing is, I would think probably is, now so people are looking at, well, what's the RICO Act? And start looking up so they can understand what it is, because all these other people are charged with it. Like, that is a huge part of the charges on these people is RICO Act and treason, um, sedacious something. Like, you can look up. Like, I've seen that fucking when I was on Twitter years ago. We were constantly sharing. You can look up. I don't know the website or anything now. Um, but like Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, uh, all of them. You can look up every single motherfucking one of them on this. If it's a government website, or if it's a judicial website, I don't know what it is, but it shows every one of our pictures and all their charges, the codes, and what they're charged with, and what the code numbers are and stuff. And so much that they are all charged with the RICO Act, so they're all in trouble. But so, see, what they got to do is keep saying, oh, well, this guy did it, because that's the only way they get anybody's attention, is that they got to have somebody to hate. They got to have somebody to blame, and to, there's so many these people who still blame. I mean, Biden can come on and say, oh, well, the whole problem with gas is because Trump did. And they all like, see, I knew it. God, that fucking, it's mental. It's like, oh my God, you guys, you just believe whatever. You hate billionaires? Do you hate blondes? Do you have, like, I don't understand how they got him to be so hated. But whatever, they did it. And it works. I mean, it's working for the awakening. It's getting people to pay attention to things they weren't paying attention to. And there's going to be all this stuff is going to be coming out. And that is the whole thing, is so all of the evidence is going to be shown in the case. But oh my God, how long is this going to go on? Like, this shit has got to go faster. But to me, there's so much that's coming in on us. The money thing, we got war shit. Like, there's so much stuff. And now they're saying Mountain Dew saying blackout. So, and, it's Friday. I mean, we don't know if this is the day that finally the banks close and don't reopen. Just fuck, every fucking Friday, I swear to God, I do a little prayer. But see, we don't have control over timing. We don't have control over how things are going to play out, when they're going to play out, that we just know they're going to play out. That's the whole thing, is just to continually trust what you know. What you know inside is what you got to trust. And even when they drag this shit out, and it seems like, oh my God, this is never going to happen. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I have to tell myself this all the time. So just keep reminding yourself, no, this is all really happening. There's shit happening all around us. This is all going. All the negative, dark energy is being purged out. All the shit in people's lives. All this healing, letting go of all of these things, moving us into this new state of being, this new age, this new time period. And so, all that is definite. It's all happening. But, to know exactly how it's going to each day, to be, it is definitely like, fuck, anything can happen in any second. Any second of any day. Anywhere, anything can happen. And the whole thing is whatever we're going to go the other direction. We're going to be going the other direction. I still see it. There's going to be a sudden flip, but there could have already been a sudden flip. There could already be so many people awakened by so much stuff going on. But if they aren't yet, it's about to happen. And there will be a sudden surge in this energy, a sudden change. And that could be what even makes the blackout. Maybe that is why they are going to do a blackout, is because of our energy is going to be, because people don't realize our energy keeps this fucking place going. Like, they depend on our energy. That's why they manipulate us for it. They would have nothing if they didn't have us. What do? They do all sit around and boss each other around and laugh at each other and, you know, kill each other, and like they got to have entertainment. They got to have some other people to kill. So anyways, but they're all going down. They're all the people who are the problem will be revealed. Like, there's nothing. I think so many people like think they're going to be tricked. They don't want to be tricked by Trump. They don't want to be tricked by this. They want to be tricked by that. Everything is going to be shown. The truth will be shown. You have to use your discernment to recognize the truth. Like, I see so many people, who are constantly, I've talked about this before, but it always just kind of blows my mind, is how many of these people are constantly just like, oh, I have evidence, I'll show you the evidence. They're always giving all this evidence, because they're trying to show, make their point or whatever. It's like, I've got discernment. I don't need your evidence. I can look at something and know immediately, like it's like I can see it or I can't see it. And I'm not talking about just little stupid things like liars lying, and you can recognize every single liar. But like on big things, like the Maui thing, it was like as soon as I saw, it was like I could see immediately what was going on. And it keeps being people like trying to show evidence, and it's like, how can you not just see it? I just see it. I can just see what's happening. And but like I don't know how everybody sees. I don't know how far people can see. I don't know how in depth people can see. I don't know how much people can see through other people. I don't know how much people can even see their own behavior. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many things where I just feel like I'm just very different. And maybe I just see things differently and other people just ignore shit or something. But I don't know. And then they'll always be like, well, I've got evidence. We'll show you evidence. Evidence can be faked too. I mean, there's just, everything is fake in this fucking world. But it's like an overall thing. Like, well, I don't know for sure if there's a fire here, a fire there. I don't know, fucking Tacoma and Lakeland. I don't know what's burning where or any of this shit. But I know this shit is burning down. I know we're under attack. I know that everything is changing. I know that this world that we used to live in is not going to be there anymore. It's fucking burning down. There's not going to be any mud flood, apparently. It's going to torch it. So, anyways, I mean, that's just, that, to me, it seems like just to open your eyes and start paying attention to what's going on in the world. And then you see, like, but I don't know. I don't get how these, I don't know. It just seems like there's people that are just completely cut off and oblivious and just trying to live a fake life. Just putting so much energy into trying to make a fake life work for them. Like, you're never going to feel satisfied. You're never going to feel happy. You're never going to feel complete as long as you're putting all your energy into a fake life that gives you nothing back. You're going to always feel drained. You're always going to feel empty. You're always going to feel used and abused. So you got to put your time and energy into you. You got to take care of you. You got to give yourself time and, get to know yourself. That's important. And don't buy into their bullshit. Oh, because you have a diagnosis, you'll be that way forever. It just, it's like you have to go in and, oh, well, I'm broken. It's like, no, you don't have to stay broken. They want you to stay broken. Do you want to stay broken? Is that how you want to live your life? Do you want to continue having toxic relationships? Do you want your relationships to improve? Because it's up to you to improve them. It's up to you to call yourself out, catch yourself, and take time to yourself, heal yourself. You can do it. You can make the changes in your relationships that you want, but it's up to you. And don't get caught up in their fucking their diagnoses and all of their medicine. And I just saw a girl too. She was like, I've had my appendix cut out, my gallbladder cut out, my thyroid cut out. Now I would like to have my uterus cut out. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell is wrong in our world. Like, my whole thing is like, we're not even supposed to let them take anything out of us. It fucks up all our shit. But then you have a whole part of society just take it all. Take it all. It's all broken. I don't want any of it. Just take it. It's like, oh my gosh. You got to recognize what's not working inside of you, so that is like a sign. It's like when you're driving your car and it starts making rattles and it starts making bumps and all those noises and shit. It's telling you something, and that is what your body is trying to do too. But you're just like, fuck it. So anyways, I just wanted to come on and say, because it was really like, I was like, fuck, so much shit is going on. This, this could be it. They're saying, I heard somebody saying something about Sunday, and then something about June or September. No, September 23rd is this date that they say in these movies that is going to be the end of the world or something. All these movies all said the same date. September 23rd, 1923. No, 2023. I'm pretty sure they said 2023. But September 23rd. But anyways, it's in all these movies. You can look up. There's people have been showing all those videos. But anyways, there's people saying there's something, because there's a whole bunch of things. Because they've got this whole money meeting that they're going to have. Those BRICS thing. Like, there's all sorts of shit. And we're still on the Fed now. We're still like, so all this shit is still going. So there's still stuff going over the next week or 2 weeks. So anything can happen, and I just be ready if there is some sort of blackout. Mountain Dew says it, so I'd listen at this point. So anyways, just, I don't know what's going to go down, or I don't know who's safe and who's not safe. I don't know who's got power and who doesn't have power. But just keep on going. Just keep on going. Just, don't give up. Know you're eternal. Know that this is the crash. This is the big mess. But everybody can come back from it. It's going to be a comeback, but there's going to be a process. So anyways, just stay safe and just work on you as much as you can, and don't get caught up in, feeling like that you're broken and you can't be fixed. It's absurd. Or feeling like that's toxic to even consider that you have anything that needs fixing. Like, yeah, I don't know. People have strange philosophies as far as I'm concerned. I have a strange one from them, and they have a strange one from me. But we need all different ones out there, so everybody has choices. Everybody gets to make choices. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.